Good morning, everyone. I should actually use my voice before we start broadcasting, but I've clearly spent this whole morning not saying much of anything to anyone, including Luna, such that when I open my voice for the first time and I say something, there's all kinds of crap stored in there. Anyhow, this is Coffee and Headlines. Good morning, everyone. Welcome back. Here we get together to take a look at headlines from our city, our state, and our country. We take a look at what you've learned, what you want to know more of as it relates to our city, so that we can all have an awesome life here as a community of English-speaking locals. It is such a pleasure to welcome you every single day, and today is no exception. Today is April 9th. The month is looking good, and I like what Logan says. It's shaping to be the perfect balance of a work-play weekend. Just fell in love with our city all over again after a long walk along the Riviera Pitillal. And I think that speaks millions about our city in general. I mean, we were just talking about the other day, some friends and I, of how we had never been to a certain restaurant or a certain place. And, you know, the bounties are endless here in Puerto Vallarta, as long as you feel comfortable going out there and exploring everything our city has to offer. Today, as always, we encourage anyone that is new to our live broadcast to let us know. You can do so by just writing the word new in your comments, and we'll be so very happy to give you a nice little welcome. Also, if there's something truly important that you wish to bring up during the broadcast, you can help us pinpoint it by adding a capital letter Q at the beginning of your comment. Today, we have all kinds of great news. We have a lot of news that have to do with the visit of Governor Alfaro, who was here to inaugurate our new Insurgentes Street Bridge, but also to announce a series of improvements throughout the city that we will reveal in a few moments. There's a couple of other bits of information here and there that have to do with Versalles and other things. And we are announcing a special interview that is going to take place this coming Monday. And I'm truly, truly excited to share that information with you, because it's been a little complicated to make it happen because of artists' schedules. But I don't want to get ahead of myself. Let us get started with our news, as always, and then we will get into conversation in the second half of the broadcast. Well, it finally happened. That's what this news item says. You know, those of you that are now looking at these brand new images of the Insurgentes Street Bridge, you know, you might think like nothing happened, because it looks like nothing happened. But those of us that have been here will always remember the 8 months it took to rebuild the Insurgentes Street Bridge and all the chaos that ensued after it was destroyed. And of course, as I mentioned earlier, the bridge was inaugurated yesterday by Jalisco Governor Enrique Alfaro. During the ceremony, Governor Alfaro announced that 43 checks for 10,000 pesos each will also be presented to shop owners at the Rio Cuale market as they continue to recover financially from the damages that the market took as well during Hurricane Nora last year. Not all is back to normal, however. Luis Alberto Romero, who oversees Unibus PB, our public bus transportation company, announced that bus service going through the new bridge will not be resumed just yet. Instead, authorities will wait until the vacation period is over to evaluate the routes that were forced upon us by the destruction of the bridge because they seem to be working fine. And what we're talking about is southbound buses coming through El Centro, returning, making a U-turn before they get to City Hall, and so forth and so on. So the pause has nothing to do with the bridge's capability to withstand the weight of the buses, and it has everything to do with finding creative ways to get people from one place to another without adding to the increasing traffic problem in this particular part of the city. Governor Alfaro also announced the rehabilitation of Highway 200 from Puerto Vallarta to Mismaloya with an investment of 18 million pesos. We know that this portion of the highway has already been fixed with hydraulic concrete, but it needs more TLC, and work along the highway will commence right after Semana Santa and Semana de Pascua. The third major announcement made by the governor having to do with the rehabilitation of our city's throughways has to do with the northbound laterals along Francisco Medina Ascencio, which is our main avenue here in the city. The work will begin later on this year and is expected to be concluded sometime next year. If you've seen the new laterals on the opposite side, then you know exactly what we're talking about. Then the laterals bring us a better bicycle lane, better sidewalks, and so forth. And most importantly, I hope they also bring us better drainage during the rain season. Moving right along, we already knew this. This is Governor Alfaro looking determined. We already knew this, but we might as well repeat it. While Governor Alfaro was in town, he met with detractors that have complained about the new vehicle verification center and procedure. These detractors had hoped that by doing marches and protesting, the municipal government could just make it all go away. However, Governor Alfaro was very, very clear, as he has been from the very beginning, saying, we are introducing vehicle verification to improve our quality of air in our environment, and there is no turning back. In other news, Mayor Michel met with the Versalles Neighborhood Association, and yes, there is such a thing, and they walked along several streets together, concerned residents and the mayor, and they all took time to share their impressions about some challenges and problems, such as the improvement of public spaces, limiting construction permits while reviewing the ones in progress, and general infrastructure. So this is a good thing that at least there's an open channel of communication between Mayor Michel, who is seen in this photograph with the director of CEAPAL, who seems to accompany him everywhere he goes. Let us hope for better infrastructure in Colonia Versalles. And of course, other parts of the city are not quite that fortunate just yet. Folks living in El Remance have complained again and again because the La Ribera Avenue, which goes along the Rio Cuale, has not been repaired since the Hurricane Nora incident last year. And of course, this is that time of year where dust settles everywhere. And without proper protection between the road and the river, accidents are bound to happen. Last but not least, authorities are pleading to vacationers to act responsibly while they visit our city and our state. making suggestions from verifying that their vehicles are in good working order to traveling with a replacement tire to not drinking under the influence of alcohol and so forth and so on. All common sense stuff that you'd think is not necessary to repeat, but apparently it is. What kind of weather can we look forward to this weekend? Let's find out. Be grateful you don't live in the parallel universe where everyone is enjoying Sonic the Hedgehog 2 with the character's nightmare inducing original design. Okay, whatever. It is 26 degrees right now. It feels like 28. Humidity is high at 60%. We are back into those numbers that are over 50%. And our temperature in Fahrenheit degrees presently is 80 degrees Fahrenheit. Our weather forecast for today tells us that we're going to enjoy a clear day with a high temperature of 30 and a low temperature of 20. That tomorrow, Sunday, will be another clear day with a high temperature of 30 and a low temperature of 20, and that we will begin our work week with a partly cloudy day, a slightly higher temperature of 32 degrees, and a low temperature of 20. Moving right along, we do have a couple of other things to share. Let's see. Parim, pam, pum, pam, pam. Yes, Governor Alfaro was also present in the inauguration of the new Adolfo Lopez Mateos Elementary School in Colonia Agua Azul. It's so easy to put those two words together and say Agua Azul, but it is Agua Azul, or blue water. The school had been demolished. It had suffered enough structural damage that they were better off demolishing it, and now they've built a new one, and this was inaugurated by our governor. In addition, he announced the rehabilitation of other public schools in the city, such as the 20 de Noviembre School and the 21 de Marzo School. Why they give elementary school date names is a mystery to me, but they seem to do that. Either date names, important dates from Mexico, or past presidents is usually the names used for public schools in Mexico. Both the schools that I mentioned, 20 de Noviembre and 21 de Marzo, have also suffered substantial structural damage, and it is about time they get some well-deserved TLC. How do I start this one? I want to start this one by saying that something that I've said before, and it's something that makes me very, very happy. When it comes to performing arts in Puerto Vallarta, and when it comes to the artists that visit us from other parts of the world, primarily the United States and Canada, the offer keeps getting better and better every year. And now I am happy to announce that Broadway veteran Brent Barrett is in town to offer a limited series of performances at Encanto alongside our friend pianist Mark Hartman. Hartman Barrett is an American actor and tenor who is mostly known for his work within the American theater. He has performed in musicals and in concerts with theaters, symphony orchestras, opera houses, and concert halls all over the world. He starred in the original production of Maltby and Shire's hit off-Broadway musical Closer Than Ever in 1989, and the 2001 West End revival of Cole Porter's Kiss Me Kate. He has also appeared sporadically on television and in films. And to make things even better, drumroll, we have secured a lovely interview with the both of them this coming Monday at noon. It is an odd time, but the artists need to rehearse. We will have a nice conversation with our friend Mark Hartman, who is no stranger to coffee and headlines, and certainly no stranger to Puerto Vallarta, making it some sort of a second home. He has been coming down to our city for a number of years, and collaborating not only with the artists that he brings, but also with local talent. And now we'll have a chance to have a conversation with him and with Brent Barrett, who is visiting our city for the first time. So he has already had one performance at Encanto that took place this past Thursday, I believe. And there will be two more performances in town after the interview. So hopefully we will all be slightly or not so slightly inspired to go and enjoy these performances at the venue. And that's what we have for today. Let us now turn over to your beautiful comments and see what you are all up to today. Um, Lots of good mornings as well. Javier, I am so curious about your choice of changing your profile image to a Mexican coin. I think that's fascinating. It is great to see you. Let's see. We have lots of good mornings, and that always feels good. Francois Bedard. I will never pronounce your last name beautifully, but you are my tocayo because Francois is French for Francisco, which is my first name. So two people in Mexico, two people that share the same name are tocayos. So my tocayo, Francois, is in Puerto Vallarta now. That is wonderful. Um, let's see what else we have. We have a nice happy hello from Oakland. There's a queue here. Let's take a quick look. Happy Saturday, everyone. We are finally back in PV and poolside in the hotel zone. Finally saw our brand new condo in Diaz Ordaz yesterday, celebrated with a fabulous meal at Mykonos. The octopus was delicious. Thank you very much for that report, Brian. I am so very happy that you're back in town. And thank you for sharing us. We always want to hear of wonderful meals had at local restaurants. I might add to that yesterday, thanks to the generosity of a dear, dear friend, I had my first dip in the pool for this year, and it was absolutely heavenly. Oh, swimming pools. We love them when the water is not so cold, of course. Let's see. Dave reports on a great lunch yesterday at Mariscaria Ldio por la calle Aguacate. I'm not familiar with it, but thank you very much for sharing. I always write down the names of all these restaurants because it will be it's important to go check them out. Patty comments, yes, the bridge will be better from my friend's place, Encanto. Absolutely. Encanto is one of several businesses that, due to their location, struggled a lot during the reconstruction period of the bridge. Let us hope that moving forward, traffic, and I'm not talking about vehicle, but just pedestrians and commerce and all the things that are important to our city will restore itself moving forward. And also the continued repairs at the Quale market, which we are bound to go and visit once they are concluded. Let's see what else. Liz is wishing happy Semana Santa to everyone. Enjoy the week on your terms. Looking forward to exploring the new bridge area next time in PV. You know, I will make a comment because I know that I have been saying a lot stuff about just staying indoors and letting tourists do whatever they want to do. This business of enjoying week on your terms is absolutely great advice. What works for me may not work for other people. For me, what works is, as I've mentioned before, is to stay away from all the tourist craziness. Although I must confess that I'm very, very curious to go see the new bridge. And I'm sure that I'm going to go see it sometime in the near future. Let's see. Michael didn't like my comment about the buses, saying that is bullshit. People need the buses back and working normal. Well, I agree with you, Michael, but again, I am not a traffic expert and I am not a bus expert, and I am sure that the city and the bus company will make the best decision they can make given the circumstances. Oh, good. Glee Audrey reports the bottle class at the annex was so much fun. We'll send a photo of finished product. We announced this workshop of painting mandala circles on wine bottles, and I was so intrigued because I like mandala circles and I like wine bottles. So this is great to hear, Glee Audrey. Hopefully they will repeat the workshop at some point. John comments on yesterday's walking tour. What a great walking tour. John, I have to tell you something. Yesterday has to be one of the best Coffee and Headline broadcasts in my book because we all had some connection. We all laughed our butts off, but not a single joke was about someone else, which goes to say that we all share this capacity of laughing with other people and not at other people. And I know that I may be oversensitive about that, but it really is important to me and hopefully to you as well that we keep this community as healthy and as worthwhile as possible by laughing as much as we can, but never at each other. So yesterday I enjoyed it so very much. And of course, the walk around to the two nurseries is already up on YouTube, and we will be promoting it later on today. Let's see what else we have. Dun, 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 dun. Karen says, wonderful news about the interviews with two talented men. Oh my goodness, I did see the show, the demo reel that Brent Barrett has on his own website, and he has done all kinds of wonderful things. I wonder if Brent will be playing on an acoustic piano. Is there a decent piano tuner in Puerto Vallarta? I wouldn't know. I honestly would not know if there is such a thing as a decent piano tuner in Puerto Vallarta. It is so difficult to keep an acoustic piano in good working condition in this weather. So it's no surprise to me that most of the venues opt for a digital instrument instead. Can anyone know why all the sirens here at the Maritime Marina really crazy? I could not answer your question, Kate, but as Brian mentions as well, interesting to hear the headline tomorrow. Well, I'll keep my eyes open and I will report if we learn something interesting or worthwhile. Stephanie is new. Love your coffee and chat. Thank you very much, Stephanie. Welcome to our cluster. I hope you have your coffee in hand. This is what we do Monday through Saturday. Just check out the headlines and react to them. I hope you find some wonderful connections here like many of us do. Let's see what else. Ramon is counting days. 11 days away. Good morning, everyone. Good morning to you, Ramon. Let's see. Dave gives us more information about Mariscaria Ldio. Thank you so very much, Dave. Tasty food, good prices, and good-sized portions, plus the street-side patio is delightful, 1 block south of Basilio Vadillo in Calle Aguacate. That is absolutely wonderful to hear. Thank you so much for sharing. Always nice to hear these reports. Let's see. Dave says it would be lovely to see transfer points where smaller electric buses can maneuver through El Centro and the Emiliano Zapata neighborhood. You know, I can imagine so many alternatives as well, Dave. For me, it would be so nice if many of the streets that we use now for vehicles were not used for vehicles at all. But of course, I also appreciate the fact that, you know, supplies need to be taken places and people need to get from one place to another. It's a complicated thing. So what can I tell you? I can tell you that I hear what you're saying, and hopefully the authorities will make good decisions for all of us. Let's see what else. Ambulances, fire truck, Red Cross vehicles as well. My goodness. So something big must be happening if it's something that we need to I can almost hear the sirens in the background. Actually, I will definitely look into the headlines this weekend and we will report accordingly. So I think this brings us to the end of today's broadcast. I hope it was worth it for you. I thought you had a good time. I hope you had a good time, rather. And I hope you will join us again soon. Hopefully you will join us on Monday, both for our broadcast and this wonderful interview that we have prepared with Mark Hartman and Brent Barrett. It'll be a live interview, and if all goes well, we will be giving away some tickets for the performance as well. And this interview, of course, will be available for everyone to enjoy. So between now and then, have a great weekend. Stay kind, stay healthy, and enjoy the city. Enjoy the city as best as you can, and I will see you again soon.